Hi everyone, so this video is going to be all about different at-home hair removal methods, and the reason I wanted to do this video is because I know that I've got a lot of viewers who are younger, who are maybe just starting out with hair removal and beauty and that kind of thing. So I just wanted to kind of introduce you to what options you've got and give you the kind of good points and the bad points of these options. But also, if you're someone who has been shaving or waxing for years and there's an option out there that could be better for you that you just maybe didn't know all the facts about or weren't aware of, then I thought that kind of discussing all the options that you could do at home was a really good idea. And I'm only going to mention body options in this video. I'm not going to talk about facial ones, so for example like eyebrows where you could pluck or thread. I'm not going to mention those. I'm only going to talk about body hair removal methods. And the first method I'm going to talk about is of course shaving, which I think is probably one of the most popular methods, and it's the method that most of us start out when we start out kind of trying to remove hair. And you can shave anywhere on your body, but the plus points of shaving are it's cheap, it's convenient in that if you need to be out the door in 10 minutes and you've got hairy legs, shaving, you just do it in 2 minutes and you're done. It's relatively cheap, you don't have to make a huge investment in a razor. But the bad points of shaving are, if you've got very sensitive skin, it can irritate your skin, and it doesn't remove hair from the root, so the hair's just going to grow back a couple of days later, a little bit spikier, a little bit coarser, and also in a lot of cases a little bit darker as well. So I think shaving's great if you're someone who's very fair and you've got maybe blonde hairs on your legs, because you can't really tell and it's just quick and convenient. And if you are someone who doesn't like to have to dabble with it all the time, then shaving's great. I've got two different types of razors here that I wanted to talk to you about. These are both by Gillette, and this is your just classic razor. This has got 5 blades, which you always want to look out for a razor that's got as many blades as possible, because that's what's going to ensure you have a really close shave and prevent you from nicking your skin. And then a razor that I think isn't the best option would be something like this, which has got 3 blades and has got the built-in soap bars. And the reason that I don't like the built-in soap bars is because the kind of lubrication that they offer is very slimy, so I feel like it doesn't get close enough to the hair to grab it properly, and it's just not the best kind of close shave because it hasn't got as many blades. So that's what you want to remember when you're buying a razor. I only shave under my arms because I feel like that's a very sensitive area that I can't remove from the root from, but I wouldn't recommend shaving your bikini area ever. I think that's an absolute recipe for disaster. And as I said, if you're fair haired, this is a great option, or if you're very young and you just want something quick and cheap, then shaving is a good option for that. Then the next one is another method that doesn't remove hair from the root, and that is hair removal creams. Now this is a near one. Veet do them. They're kind of, you can get loads of different variations of this, but the good points of this are it's fast and it's cheap. You just put it on, wait about 10 to 8 minutes depending on the product, and then you can remove it. The bad points of this are, first of all, it smells really horrible. If you kind of have ever used one of these, you'll know it just smells like rotten, I don't know, eggs or something. It's an absolute horrible scent, and I find if you've got very sensitive skin, it can irritate your skin pretty badly. Number one. Number two, I find if you are aware of fake tan like I am, this strips your fake tan. If you've applied fake tan and then a couple of days later you apply this to your legs, bye fake tan. It just strips all your fake tan. So it's quite harsh, and it leaves my skin feeling very bumpy and very sort of irritated and red, and this is not a method I would recommend personally at all. But obviously not everyone's the same, and it might work for you and you might think that it's kind of the best method ever, but that's just kind of a little bit of the information about this type of hair removal. I find it very irritating on the skin, and I don't find it's as close as shaving is either. Obviously there are different variations, and as I said, it might work for you, but I don't particularly like this method. The next method is waxing, and this is kind of a very common method of hair removal, and there are kind of a few different types of waxing. You can have just ready-made wax strips, which I love. You can have hard wax, which looks like this. This is just wax that you heat up, you apply on the area and you pull without a muslin cloth. And then traditional wax, which you heat up and apply a muslin cloth and remove it. I haven't got one of those to show you because I don't tend to use that kind of wax at home. So when it comes to waxing, the plus points of this are it's a long-term hair removal method. So unlike the shaving and the hair removal cream, if you wax, your legs will stay smooth for up to about 3 weeks, or any area that you choose to do will stay smooth for about 3 weeks. I know a lot of waxing brands like to claim that you'll stay smooth for 4 weeks, and maybe some people do, or maybe I'm just really hairy, I don't know. But I don't think that 4 weeks is realistic. You get a little bit of regrowth. So it removes hair from the root, and it also kind of over time makes the hair weaker and makes the hair finer, and you won't be seeing kind of as much hair growing in that area after you've been doing it for quite a while. The downside to this, unlike shaving and hair removal creams, are that it is painful. It's not intolerable painful. I think one of the options I'm going to discuss soon is a much more painful option, but it is a slightly painful option to do. But the beauty of it is you can do it on places like your bikini area, which I have done a video about how to give yourself a bikini wax, so I will link that in the down bar if you want to go and have a look at that. But these waxing are the best options for the bikini area and for legs if you have got quite fine hair and you like to be able to let the hair kind of grow and then do it, because that's one of the other disadvantages of waxing, is that the hair has to be a certain length for you to wax. You can't wax on like tiny hairs. You have to have a little bit of hair there to be able to do it. So that's waxing, and in terms of price, waxing is kind of a little bit more expensive than shaving depending what you buy, but it's not a huge investment. It's not a very expensive item. Unlike the next thing which I'm going to talk about, and I haven't actually got the epilator head on this, I've just noticed I had the trimmer head on it. But this is an epilator, and I've done a full video about epilators, so I'll link that in the down bar if you want to go and get a bit more information about that. But epilating is basically millions of little tweezers that work in the same way as wax does, and it just pulls hair from the root with tweezers. Now, I am a huge fan of epilating. It is my hair removal method of choice on my legs because I don't like having to wait in between waxes letting my hair grow. So this is great if you're someone that's quite impatient or you like to just have smooth legs all the time, which, you know, a lot of people do. So this is really great. It is quite painful when you first start out, but after a while it just completely vanishes and you don't feel a thing. I don't feel anything when I epilate anymore, but you remove it from the root and it just is amazing. Personally, it's my absolute favourite. You get different types of epilators. You can get cheaper ones, more expensive ones, and I do think it's worth investing in a higher end epilator just because I feel like they work a little bit better, and personally I think they don't hurt as much as well. So this one is the Brawn one, and this is around £90 I think when it's full price, but it's generally on offer for about 70. So it is a little bit of an investment, but it's not completely extortionate, which is a great kind of thing. But if you want to make that investment and you want to do your legs, and you can do your bikini area with this, I don't because I feel like it's too painful, but you want to do your bikini area, you could, and it's a really great way because it's not messy like wax can be. You can just zap it out, zap the hairs a couple of times and you're good to go. It does create a little bit of redness, so it's not good if you kind of need an instant hair removal, but I absolutely love this. And then last but not least, the other option I'm going to talk to you about is at-home laser hair removal. Now this is the Trier laser hair removal device, and I've done a full review of this with my kind of initial thoughts. I haven't finished the full course of treatments because I know a lot of people were asking me to do an update. I am going to do an update once I've finished the full course of treatments. I don't want to just do an update in between and kind of not really have anything valuable to say. But this is a kind of more permanent hair removal method which you can do at home. Therefore it is more expensive. It's around £370 something, I'm pretty sure. I'll put the video in the down bar for you to go and have a look at it. But it is a expensive one, so it is quite an investment if you want to do it. But the downside to it is it is very painful. The first few times I did it, I didn't think it was that painful, but the more I've done it, I think it has become more painful. It feels like you're kind of burning your skin, which you basically are burning the hair follicles. But it's very painful. As I said, it's expensive, and one of the huge downsides for me is that you have to shave while you're using it, and it can take about 6 months of using this till you get results, and I really do not like having to shave my legs at all. It is absolutely killing me, and I've actually given up doing my bikini area with this because the shaving was just driving me mental. So if you are someone that hates shaving, this is a little bit of a risky option, but nonetheless I am trying it because I want to be able to review it for you guys, and I just think it's kind of a nice little option if you want that kind of thing. But as I said, it's a kind of more of a permanent hair removal device. You can be hair free for kind of ever, so they claim. But as I said, I haven't done the full course of treatment with this, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But it is an initial investment, and it's not something that I think you want to start out doing if you've just started with hair removal. It's something that you want to consider later on, and the other downside of it is it isn't for everyone. Unlike the other methods I spoke about, if you've got fine, fair hair, it won't work. If you've got grey hair, it won't work. If you're very fair skinned, it cannot work, and likewise if you're very dark skinned, it cannot work. So that's something to just bear in mind with that. But I hope this video helped you and just kind of enlightened you a little bit about the options that are out there. If any of you have got any questions or anything like that that you want to ask me about this topic, then definitely put those in the comments below. I'll try and remember to link all the things that I mentioned in the video in the down bar for you to go and check out. But I hope you found this helpful, and as I said, if you've got any questions, then do not hesitate to pop those in the comments below. And please don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye.